Bonjour et bienvenue à FLE by Ghazal, French Learning Academy by Ghazal. And in our today's class, I'm going to explain you very interesting and very important topic in French. That is le passé composé, right? The past tense in French. Le passé, le temps passé, right? Now, this tense passé composé is a compound tense. Why is it called a compound tense? Because it is made up of, it is formed by using two verbs together. Okay, we're going to see that how, but it's called compound tense because we use and we form the conjugation of this verb by adding two verbs together. Now let's talk about what is the utilization or what is the use of this tense passé composé. Passé composé in French corresponds to past simple and present perfect in English. Yes, you heard it right. So passé composé is not only past simple, but it corresponds past simple and present perfect tense both. Why? Because this tense we use to explain or to tell the actions which are already completed in the past. Let's say, for example, if I am saying that I have eaten my dinner, or if I am saying I ate my dinner. Now in one of the sentence I am using present perfect, and in another one I am using past simple. But in both the sentences the action is already completed. What is passé composé? Okay, let's talk about it. So in this slide, of course, it is there. Le passé composé est au top de poste passé utilisé pour exprimer une action. The passé composé is the tense which is used to explain past actions, which I just told you that we use passé composé to determine or to explain the completed actions which are already completed, जो हो चुके हैं past में, right? And it corresponds to two tenses in English, that is the past simple and the present perfect tense. Okay, so here it was the utilization of passé composé. Why do we use it? And I have given you few examples. I talked to my friend, I have talked to one of my friend, right? I cooked a dinner for me, I have cooked the dinner for me. So with both the tense, if you see in English, yes, it's one is present perfect, one is past simple, but in French it's only one, that is passé composé. Okay, let's go to our next slide. Now let's see that how do we form this tense passé composé. As I told you that this is a compound tense. So for compound tense we have to use two verbs together, right? Two verbs together. So one, we're going to be using one auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb, if you do not know in English, they are the helping verbs, right? Is, am, are, was, were, has, have. These are the helping verbs, right? So they are also called auxiliary verbs. Here we're going to be using two auxiliary verbs. So passé composé can be conjugated with two auxiliary verbs, that is être and one is avoir. But in this video we're going to be talking about only avoir. Why? Because most of the verbs in passé composé is conjugated with avoir. There are few exceptional verbs that we use with verb être, which I'm going to explain in my next video. So let's see the formation of passé composé with verb avoir. How do we form passé composé with verb avoir? Comment il se forme avec avoir? Okay, so if you see in the highlighted area, it is shown that is subject plus verb avoir in present tense. So for this you need to know the conjugation of verb avoir and être in present tense, very important. So let's come to this now. What is the structure? So it's subject plus verb avoir in present tense plus participe passé of the main verb. Let me explain you what is main verb and all such things. Like for example, here I have given the example j'ai parlé, j'ai mangé. Now if I see if you also know verb avoir, verb manger, j'ai apostrophe ai is the conjugation of avoir verb in present tense with je, and manger here is the participe passé of the main verb. Main verb, like if I'm saying I have eaten my food, what's the action? What's the action? Main action is to eat. That's why eaten. That's why to eat is the main verb. So here, that's why I'm considering manger is the main verb, right? So we have to make the participe passé of manger verb, and we have to add the auxiliary verb, right? So if I have to say that I have eaten, or if I have to say I ate my food, I'll say je, right? That is me, je, I'll conjugate je with avoir verb in present tense, that is je apostrophe ai, plus the participe passé of the main verb. You shouldn't forget, it is not only the main verb, we have to make the participe passé of the main verb. The next question which will be coming to your mind is that how do we make the participe passé? So let's learn how do we make the participe passé in the regular form of the verbs, that is for er, ir, re ending verbs, regular verbs. Let's see. Okay, so in this slide we can see that how do we form passé, participe passé for regular er, ir and re ending verbs. So to make the participe passé for regular er ending verb, we remove er, we add e with an accent. You can see how I have done parl. We have removed er from infinitive verb and we have added e with an accent. For verbs ir, you remove ir like the verb is finir, finir. You'll remove you'll remove ir from the verb and you'll just add I, right? That is fini. And for verbs re, you remove re and you add u in the end. Like vendre verb converts to vendu, that is vendu. Now this is for only regular verb, and these rules for er, ir and re ending are for the regular verbs, right? Let's see some irregular. So because French is incomplete without the exceptions, so I'll be showing you that there are few verbs which follow the irregular patterns to make participe passé. Here, there are few verbs I have written here. It's not the whole list, but the main verbs which we use, right? And they're the irregular verbs are having irregular participe passé. If you can see, like être voir, so it's irregular. If you can see verb lire, voir, faire. We just don't remove re and add u. We just don't remove ir and we add I, no. For voir, voir verb it's view. For faire verb it's fait. For mettre verb it's mis. For prendre verb it's pris. So this is how we make the participe passé for the irregular verbs, and this you need to learn, this you need to cram, and there is no need to get pressurized over it. It's just with some practice you'll get the things, right? But this is not the complete list. You'll be getting the complete list in my next video when I'll be explaining. For now, it's just I have explained you how do we conjugate with the regular verbs, and there are few irregular patterns as well to make the participe passé. Next. Okay, so in this slide I'll be telling you how do we accord it. Though in general we do not accord participe passé with avoir, right? I mean accorde as in you must have adjusted adjectives, nouns from feminine to masculine. If the noun is feminine, you add an e. If the noun is feminine, plural, you add es. Similarly, we have to accord these participe passé as well. But there is a rule. Generally, we do not accord participe passé with avoir verb. But if the object, right, is before the verb. Let's for example say if I am saying j'ai mangé le plat or j'ai mangé une pomme. That means I have eaten an apple. J'ai mangé une pomme. Okay? J'ai une pomme. J'ai mangé une pomme, right? Now, une pomme, the object on which the action is happening, right? It's after the verb j'ai mangé and une pomme. But if this une pomme comes in the starting of the sentence, une pomme que j'ai mangé, the apple which I ate. Now when I am putting this object in the starting, une pomme, in the starting of the sentence. Now I have to accord manger participe passé according to my object. So in poem, you know that une in poem is in feminine singular noun. It means apple in French and it's in feminine singular noun. So I'm going to add an extra e to my participe passé to make it feminine. Here are few examples which are given. Le film que j'ai vu. Now le film is masculine already, so there is no change in VU. But in the second example, fleur. Fleur is an exceptional noun, right? It's an exception. So the fleur, it is actually feminine, right? And here les fleurs, and the object is plural as well. That means feminine plural. So I have accorded my participe passé with es. I have added es to my participe passé to accord the sentence. This is what this participe passé was with avoir verb. I have explained you in a very basic form. In the next video, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain you verb passé composé with verb être and how do we conjugate. It's very simple tense. It just needs the practice and the usage is also very clear. Thank you. Bye bye. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel FLA by Ghazal. And for more details, contact us. If you subscribe our channel, in our channel description, there are my number is there, our email ID is there, so you can contact us for the classes. We provide classes for CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, IB, and DELF exams as well. Okay, au revoir, à bientôt.